Two countries.
Mr. Frank Boateng Agyarkwa ending Komo, where international relations commentator engineer thoughts on the visit by the Vice President of the United States of America. It's good to have you, Anape, Mr. Agyarkwa.
Well, good morning. Nice to be talking to you too, and your listeners.
I'm hoping you're doing well today, sir.
Come again?
I'm saying I'm hoping that you're doing well today.
By God's grace, I'm fine. I'm fine.
So let's talk about the presence of the Vice President of the United States of America and Ghana being the first point of call. What would necessarily make the U.S. look at Ghana before any other nation on the African country from what you said?
Well, you know, Ghana has, in the past, not only in the past, Ghana has always been the first point of call for the United States. America, basically, when America wants to do anything in Africa, Ghana is basically their first point of call. That's what you call Ghana the gateway to Africa. You cannot really come to Africa and do anything without contacting or coming to Ghana first. Ghana has a lot of goodwill. It's only that Ghanaians ourselves, we do not really respect or value what we got or what we have. But if you go outside, almost in the country you go to, when you mention Ghana, Ghana has a lot of goodwill. There are other African countries, but Ghana stands tall. So I believe that it is really, really not out of order at all. It's in the right place, or it's really acceptable. It was good that the Vice President decided to come to Ghana first.
Now, let's look at the issues in there. For you, what should be of utmost importance to us as a country with such a powerful nation visiting us?
Well, if you really want to make a comparison, assuming you yourself, the host, you somewhere, probably in your office or at your workplace or in your home, and the president of Ghana decides to come and visit you, you feel proud, you feel very privileged. I believe that Ghana can earn a lot of, number one, respect from the fact that the United States decided to come. The Vice President of the United States decided to come to Ghana first. Ghana can also benefit, I think already we benefit because they said they're going to give $100 million to Ghana and other countries, other West African countries to fight extremism. And then also I think there is a promise of $139 million next year to support our budget or our fiscal policy. And then also you see the market economists and the market forces, they work on speculation. You see the Vice President Kamala Harris said that they're gonna help Ghana to, manage our economic situation, and we're going to have the bilateral talks with our creditors. They're gonna help us to manage our economy, and then basically it's good. They're going to help the Ghana to negotiate with the IMF to get the loans that we so badly need. So I think it's all it's positive. It's really positive. Yeah.
Now, we were talking earlier about, former presidents of the US of A who have been to this country, and we were referencing that of President Barack Obama. And one fundamental issue he raised when he came to this country, how the institutions ought to be empowered and the structures put in place. For the period that he came here and left, have we done enough to empower these institutions? Have we done enough to ensure that the structures are in place for our development as a people?
My brother, let me tell you, Ghana and Ghanaians, we are enemies of our own destiny, of our own. So the problem we have in Ghana It's the how do you say politicization, right?
Yep.
The politics that we playing here. We do not really put the country or the interests of the nation first.
Mm.
I mean, we do not. That's the problem. We are doing politics, and we're doing what I call gutter politics, and that is what is killing this country. Look at what happened. I think about 3 or 4 days ago when they had to vote in Parliament for some ministerial positions, some judges and stuff. And last night, yesterday, I was listening to some commentary from a minority MP who was saying that some of his people are traitors, some of his parliamentarians were traitors. I mean, how can they be traitors? They're voting for the national interest. It's not the partisan interest. So I don't want to say much, but Ghana, if we can really, really, really focus on what we want, our development, our future, our industrialization, jobs for the youth, education. If we can put the priorities first, where the two divide can come together for national and common interest, we can go far. But with the politicization and the the kind of partisan, that's our problem, I would say.
Now, finally, before we end the conversation, let's take a look at the geopolitics of the visit, the China-Russia question, where many believe that this visit has to do with how China's footprint on the African country is all over, and that the U.S. is worried that it's losing out when it comes to, footprints on the continent.
Well, let me tell you, when you come to the geopolitical juggling, I think the United States has been slow, but in America we say it's better be late than never. You see, I'm 54 years old. When I was a kid, right, the only thing we knew was America. America was everywhere. I mean, let me tell you, American churches and evangelists had a radio station in Liberia that was always broadcasting to Ghana. And we in Kumasi, we were always ready, glued up to our ready to listen to all these evangelists speaking American English and stuff. A lot of us learned our English. When I was in high school, I wanted to speak like an American. Believe you me. and lo and behold, I was able to learn, study, and travel to America. I wanted to go to America, and I did. And a lot of people in Ghana, if you open the door to America for Ghanaians today, everybody will go. Why? Because the United States has so much power and sway on Ghana and certain parts of Africa. But I think for the past either 20 years or 15 years, you see, America, we say we have permanent friends or we don't have permanent friends, but we have permanent interests. America does not maintain permanent friendship. Whenever America believes that the interest of America is at stake, America will go there. So I think that is where the problem was. They left the space for China, especially China, to move in. I mean, you can see all the footprints of China in Ghana all over, even going all the way down to Galamsey. And then you've got Russia, who is also all over Burkina Faso and Mali with the Wagner group or whatever. So there was a vacuum. America left the vacuum. And it even got worse when Donald Trump started calling Africans like shitholes and stuff like that. And now the United States is waking up to the fact that if they don't come in, some probably 10, 15, 20 years to come, America will lose on the continent. So it's better to be late than never. They want to come back. That's what I should say.
All right, I thank you, Mr. Agyarkwa, for making time to speak to us this morning. And that's Frank Boateng Agyarkwa sharing some thoughts with us on the visit of Kamala Harris to Ghana.